bansa. Tayo po ay nag-file ng Senate Bill number 2991 o ito pong Digital Nomad Visa Act. Alam niyo yung what made me do this was the time when we went to Siargao for the first time. Napunta akong Siargao and ang dami po doon ng mga foreigners. Nagulat ako, talagang parang nasa Europa ka na, wala ka sa Pilipinas. And a lot of them are going back home because wala na sila, hindi sila makapagtrabaho dito. Can you imagine kung sabi nila kung makakapagtrabaho sila dito, they would have stayed longer or might stay at least a year or two. So sabi ko, sayang na, no? And then we look at it and then nakita namin dun sa World Economic Forum, yung nomad list nila, yung Philippines rank as 7th fastest growing remote work hub in 2023. Yun po yung report nila. Tapos yung Department of Tourism just reported for this 2024, nakaraang 2024, 9.15% increase in foreign visitors. That's a total of 5.95, almost 6 million foreign tourists. Ito po ay all-time high, no? All-time high tourism revenue na nakuha natin, approximately about 760.5 billion pesos. So with this in mind, parang no-brainer na gawin natin ito. And dun sa bill natin, ang difference lang dun sa executive order ng ating Pangulong Bongbong is that ang mag-i-issue pa rin ang Bureau of Immigration. We feel na sila yung, but of course, ano tayo dyan, open tayo dyan for discussion, but we feel yung BI would have the, sila yung nag-i-issue ng mga working visas at student visas, etc. And at the same time, nakita natin na sila, may kakayahan sila, may mga personnel sila, they can also revoke yung digital nomad visa. With this visa, hindi kailangan magbayad ng buwis nung foreigner dahil ang nagpapasweldo sa kanya nandun sa original na or bansa na pinanggalingan niya. But on our end, may fee na binabayaran. In some countries, it ranges from $1,000 to $4,000 ang fee. Imagine. So, it's additional income for the government, but at the same time, I don't know if you'll be able to measure how much money they would be spending if they stay here for a year. Diba? Imagine the jobs that you will create, the economic activity, diba? So if our tourism is booming, it's a good sign na we should seize this opportunity. So hopefully ang appeal natin sa palasyo ay i-prioritize na rin po ito. I think we still have time, no? Madali lang naman, napaka-simple nitong panukalang batas na ito na kung saan mabigyan ng digital nomad visa yung mga nais mag-work dito sa Pilipinas at ma-enjoy nila yung paraiso na ino-offer ng ating minamahal na bansa.
Under your proposed bill, sino yung mag-i-issue ng digital nomad visa?
Ang Bureau of Immigration po at dun sa Section 3 ng ating Senate Bill 2991, yung applicant must be 18 years of age, works remotely using digital technologies, tapos can show dapat yung proof na meron po siyang sufficient generated income doon sa bansang pinanggalingan niya, outside the Philippines. Kasi kung wala, parang baka mamaya dito pa magtrabaho yon, magkukumpetensya sa mga Pilipinong naghahanap ng trabaho. No? Now, syempre, may valid na health insurance para kung sakaling may mangyari, may health insurance siya. At the same time, ma-check din kung siya ba'y may criminal record. Pag may criminal record, hindi natin papayagan yon, no? And he or she should not be a threat to the country. Tapos last but not the least, yun nga po, may fee na babayaran, yung entry fee, exit fee, yung processing ng visa, and at the same time para sa akin, and for discussion ito, no, and you asked me how much, bigyan natin ng premium yung ating bansa para may kitain naman, no. Hindi natin ito dapat biglain kailangan talagang mapag-aralan. That's why I wanted the experts also to give us their their views on this. Kasi pag masyadong mataas, baka lumipat sa iba. Sa Thailand, tinaas nila eh. Nung tinaas nila, bumaba yung kanilang applicants, no? Doon naman sa Malaysia, 24,000 US dollars lang yung kinikita, pwede nang pumasok sa kanila at mabigyan ng visa. Pero ang binibigay nila para mga 3 months to 6 months lang. So ito, yung nitty-gritty part we wanted to discuss in the committee level, and we wanted to hear our experts regarding this particular issue, especially yung tinanong mo, Selly, na how much fee we should be charging. Kasi nga, again, it ranges from $1,000 to $4,000.
So sir, dahil nasa committee level pa lang, malamang sa 20th Congress na ito ma-approve.
I am hoping, hope springs eternal. So, kanina lang kahapon, kausap ko din si Senator Cheese, Senator Alan, Senator JV. Kanina si SP Cheese, kaninang umaga, nakausap ko din siya, and I told him about it. Sabi niya, okay yan, kasi may EO na, no, pag-usapan natin. So, I have yet to encounter anyone in the Senate na merong strong reservation, or not even a reservation. Senator Pia already says she wanted to be a co-author, Senator Grace po, and then yung seatmates, lahat sila overwhelmingly supporting this measure. So, hopefully, I think, again, if Malacanang would say we are prioritizing this measure as urgent, I don't see any reason why we should not be able to pass it in the yung pagbabalik po ng Kongreso.
Any related question or about politics na tayo? Okay. Pero bago yung impeachment, kasi sir, almost 2 weeks na lang midterm election na. Ano yung assessment ninyo sa tinatakbuho nitong kampanya, yung sa mga result ng survey, considering na sa experience nyo, sir, di ba? That is a survey.
Parang ang tanda-tanda ko lang.
Pero di ba may isang insidente, nag-number 1 ka ba? Number 2? Na
Yeah, nag-number yung 2016 elections.
So it means yung mga survey, hindi natin pwedeng panghawakan yun ang magiging result. Then,
well, yung survey is always a good
guide.
Guide index on your performance. We have been in politics for quite a long time. Yung dalawang takbo natin sa Senado, we garnered 18,400,000 nung first, 18,600,000, 800,000 yung second. So basically, yung 18 million votes, 18.5 average votes na nakuha natin is not easy to get. So talagang nakita ko yung importansya ng messaging. I think that's very important. When you look at the campaign right now and you want me to react, natatawa na lang ako minsan kasi, di ba, I mean, let's face it, marami talagang budol candidates na would make up stories and claim na, for example, sila nakaimbento ng buwan kaya merong buwan sa gabi, or yung hangin, sila yung dahilan kung bakit nakakalanghap tayo. No? So, I think ang hindi nare-realize ng ilang mga candidates yung katalinuhan ng voting public. I think hindi mo dapat i-underestimate na kung akala mo kiliti-kiliti or patawa-patawa ka lang or entertain mo lang yung kandidato. Hindi solid yun. Maaaring you can do it once or siguro, pero yung masustain yung ganung klase ng kampanya. And I'm talking about local or national campaign. So, I think importante you have to be true to yourself, authentic, and yung taong bayan talagang looks for resibo. Yung resibo talaga.
Ano yung accomplishment?
Accomplishments. Or kung hindi ka pa naging senador, for example, ano na yung nagawa mo, what you're bringing into the table, di ba? So I think that's very important.
Before Daniel and Mean, sir, may mga ini-endorso ka ba na senatorial candidates? And second question, crucial ba yung magiging resulta ng midterm election, particularly sa senatorial race, considering na magkakaroon nga ng impeachment trial against BP Sara?
Whether it's midterm or hindi elections, I always believe na crucial yung every election, no? Especially yung institusyon ng Senado, napakahalaga ng Senado. I think people